Welcome to So Bad It's Good. We watched RoboGeisha.
The story of Yoshi and her sister...
Yeah, I couldn't really remember her name either.
No, I kept calling her sister.
Kikuyako. Yoshi and her sister meet a handsome businessman. He tells Yoshi that she has unknown talents. She then gets indoctrinated into a secret army of geisha assassins. She's gradually made into a robot. She goes out assassinating. She meets the old people, learns the truth of her employers, and lets the old people go. She then gets double-crossed and blown up. She then gets rebuilt by the oldies. Subsequent to that, turns into a tank.
Oh my god.
What's happening here? She turned into a tank.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yes, you have. The bad guy's Leia then turns into a giant Power Ranger-style robot. Yoshi the RoboGeisha has a butt sword fight with the Tengun. She then fights her now cyborg sister. She reboots her cyborg sister by telling her that she was adopted. They literally combine, defeat the bad guy, movie ends.
Story old as time.
It starts absolutely mental. And builds from that point to...
No! Insane! At the heart of this, and I only learnt this on third viewing and actually watching it, there's a story between two sisters.
The backstory itself to this is very well thought out. Her and her sister were orphaned as children, and then her sister becomes a geisha in order, essentially kind of to support the two of them. Resents Yoshi, the younger sister, because she thinks that she's useless and does nothing. The sister is actually very insecure, which is why she bullies her sister. But there are still kind of these little seeds and signs of kind of a caring relationship.
Yoshi always cares for her sister, despite how horrible she is.
いいかい君の腕に装着されたこの兵器は脳と連動しているんだ怒りがピークに達した時作動するシステムだ
It's one thing I can say is that she does become very good of heart.
Yeah, I
even
kind of
when
thought
she's
that was
mostly a tank.
I thought that was a bit of an oversight by the guy with the long hair, the son. That you could tell she was a really nice person.
Yeah.
Like, you should have seen, maybe.
Yeah, but he nearly drives her to the point where she will just kill.
Yeah, I suppose she does.
And she becomes... Well, she does kill. She shrimps in the eyes.
She kills a lot of people.
Yeah, it's not just the shrimp in the eyes guy. Kikuyako, which is Yoshi's sister. Kiku starts as the geisha. Kind of the roles get reversed, but that just drives her to want to become better and be a better assassin.
欲しい？やめた。美味しい。
Once she experiences what it's like to be downtrodden, she goes, I ain't having this.
Yeah.
And then the geisha that's meant to kill herself doesn't want to kill herself, so she kills her and then chops her head off and then goes, I'm going to be the best.
It's the rivalry between her and Yoshi that kind of drives this...
The
whole film and the desire to kind of modify or enhance themselves with these kind of robotic and cyborg bits.
負けたくない。姉さんには。あの女には。
So she then has a boob gun installed, which is trigger on one boob, multi
I love that
gun
detail.
On. So you have to bang the trigger.
Films that wouldn't think about it would just have two chain guns, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
And
they
they would just go, and everyone would go, well, how does it do it?
胸から銃が。100発100中。
There was a couple of times where Kiku shows her dominance over Yoshi by just simply deploying a very quick and fast throat punch.
そんな
Right in the throat. But there's one where she completely telegraphs it because she does this with her hand, then she goes bang straight in her throat.
その卑屈な目つきも嫌なのよ
It's something you don't see that much of anywhere.
But feels very sibling-like, though.
It's like that thing of like mates just, cock punch, bang.
Yoshi's kind of on her first mission, and her sister's with her, and they're all wearing these school uniform, and they've got to assassinate a guy who looks really familiar.
He looks a bit like the guy who's in Ninja Apocalypse and is also in
Man in the High Castle.
Yes.
So there's a bit where they're fighting, and all of a sudden Yoshi does a kick to reveal her underwear, and it's pervy, right? And it is pervy. I'm not denying that. But it's the most gleeful little smile.
Almost like it put him off his stride.
It's like, hoo! Hoo!
There is also another kind of knicker shot, but it's a slightly different one. It's much as one of the assassins is bent over and literally gets stabbed in the arsehole with a sword.
Oh my god!
What a way to go.
That shot does make me feel uncomfortable.
It does. It's a bit too. It lingers a bit too long, doesn't it?
I hate to bring up Star Wars all the time,
You love bringing up stuff all the
but
time.
there is more character development between these two characters than I think Rey and any character in the Star Wars.
In any of those 3 films
Yes,
that they did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Totally.
one's Ray?
あんたよりにもよって影野の坊ちゃんの前で恥かかせよってゲシャ蹴るんだキックするんだ
We've then got our smooth yet slightly smarmy business guy, which is Hikaru Kageno. Now, he is the evil businessman who essentially plans to, between him and his father, they want to just destroy all of Japan so that they can just kind of run things by dropping a large bomb into Mount Fiji.
Fuji.
Fuji, yeah, sorry.
Fiji is a Polynesian island.
Correct.
Maybe they got lost.
たもので私たちのものではないと
Why does it look like it's been built by Wallace and Gromit? His father being Kenzan Kageno, who is his evil father.
表向きは製鉄会社を営んでいるが国家が求めれば喜んで
Oh, just the slow zoom.
We just need a go-ahead to produce these military weapons.
They're essentially the two bad guys, Dr. Evil and Dr. Eviler. The foil to Kenzan is Kanai.
金井さんは何の用かと言ってるんです。
Is in a wheelchair, slurs his words, makes no sense at all, unless he's talking about Kageno Steel.
息子見るかん会社アブレッドつまりある組織に奪われた家族を取り戻す集団だ。
金井さんはこの話題の時だけちゃんと喋れるんだよ。
I like his voice.
Yeah.
The tone of his voice when
Yeah.
he's talking, to me, is kind of it's very kind of Japanese anime kind of
Yes,
like the sort
yeah.
of
It's a bit panto.
yeah, but just like real authority to his voice. Like you can imagine him being kind of this sort of
Yeah.
super
Commander of-
powerful
yeah,
commander of the armies or something.
And he has a gun in his knee. Great bit where he's been wheeled down a corridor. The other trainee geishas are coming at him and is the guy who's pushing him. He keeps slapping his knee and shooting him and shooting him. And then he slaps it. He went, I slapped it too hard. I think I put it in automatic mode. And then just sits there going, pew, 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 pew.
Dick mask wearing lead assassins who stick their tongues out a lot, have acid breast milk that they use, that they fire at people to melt their faces, and have swords and ninja stars that fire out of their bumholes. They're known as the Tengun. We're introduced to these two when they pop out of the first RoboGeisha
That we see,
or the
yeah.
first robot assassin that we meet. So the Tengun are basically the creme de la creme.
They're
of
like the lead
geisha
henchmen.
assassin.
They're the lead
Yeah,
henchmen.
they're the lead assassin.
何これ
They were disguised as the chair.
The whole time I've been sat there.
Just on their laps. Couldn't feel those tits in their back.
I loved how informative they were, actually, when they first appear.
Yes.
断根を具有化した日本古来の妖怪だその名も天狗
I like that because it's like no confusion.
Yeah.
All right, you think this looks like a penis? It's meant to.
And they are the greatest overactors I think I've ever seen.
There's a lot of tongue sticking out. There's a lot of just words that last longer than you'd expect them to.
頭の先から骨の髄まで全身全霊天狗なのさ姉さんはどうしてるの
There are some incredible death scenes at the hands of the Tengun.
おったい欲しいか気安胸に触れると顔に穴が開くよ
You touch my tits, and frankly, there's a hole in your face.
It's almost delivered like it's supposed to be some really witty, clever line.
But it's a
Yippee-ki-yay!
very literal... Yeah. They are my favourite characters, I think, just because they're so mental.
Yeah,
But they're
they
even
are.
more mental than how mental this movie is. Yoshi is walking home and young Kageno follows her. And they then get confronted by Suzuko.
ひどいヒカルさんこんなのあんまりだわひどすぎる
She was apparently, and you get a lot of this. She's
I
only
can
in
just see her
she's only-
face running at the camera.
She's only in the movie for like 5 minutes, if that.
yeah.
Yet you discover that she worked at a hospital where Kageno either was, I don't know if he was a patient or worked there or whatever he was, and had his way with her, it seems. She goes to attack. It might actually be set up in order to kind of set off Yoshi on
No,
her thing, but I don't think
I believed
so.
her passion.
I did.
She runs at them in slow motion, but actually just does a run.
Yeah.
Feigning slow motion. She tries to attack them. Yoshi goes full pre-RoboGeisha on her, kind of revealing these
yeah.
unhidden talents. She runs away, and then Suzuko gets Kagano around his neck, and then one of the Tengun pops out from behind a tree and basically just melts her face with her acid breast milk. It's the first time you've seen the acid breast
it
milk.
is.
The Tengun are one on top of the other. One's on the shoulders of the other one.
Oh, is it
And
both
then-
of them?
And then they just give it one of these.
And she gets sprayed in the face. And then
That's brilliant, like, because it's like they could have just stood there. The director went, no, you've got to be on her
top, on the
shoulders.
top of
That
her,
is
yeah.
my vision.
gets Suzuko in the face, and then Suzuko has
She
the
has some
most
great
wonderful...
lines.
I can't remember any of it, but if you read the dialogue, if you read the subtitles as she's dying, she is very literal about what's going on in terms
Yeah.
of...
There's
She's
a
great.
lot of literal dialogue in this.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of literal. All of the characters do
The
it.
climactic scenes in the movie is the big Power Rangers style castle robot wearing the bomb like a Flavor Flav style
Yeah.
thing. You then discover that he is being controlled by Kengun Kagano. He's basically standing on like kind of some sort of platform similar to, it reminded me a little bit of Pedro Pascal at the end of Wonder Woman 2.
Oh, I love the lights.
The fairy lights.
Yeah, the fairy.
They are brilliant.
They basically just got what looks like two sort of tumble
Just look-
dryer hoses,
Yeah.
stuck them to his shoulders, and then tied some Christmas lights around his waist.
Yeah, he's controlling the robot.
Not through those things on his arms, but through his belt.
He's got to walk like that,
All of it. The fairy lights and all, Tom. They're very important fairy lights.
I mean, the robot even starts dancing at one point.
And then takes off into the air because she uppercuts it. She punches him in the chin, and that makes the robot take off and fly to space. And at the end, he says, bye-bye. Bye.
In this universe, and I don't find it weird at all, but the buildings bleed.
Why is there blood coming out of them?
I think that's to hide the cardboard within what they've broken.
Definitely something going on there.
Yeah, because
I think this
could have had fire.
The
but...
license that this type of film gives you is that they were clearly in the editing suite and thought, this looks a bit weird. Oh, let's just make them bleed.
Or one of them went fire and they went, do you know how hard it is to do fire?
I've got this blood gift.
I got this one. He's a chap called Noboru Iguchi, and this movie was written and directed by him. He has,
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has 69 director credits.
Wow.
On IMDb.
Do you think he did that on purpose and stopped?
Of the 69 director credits that I looked at, there were only 4 of them that had English titles. In 2008, he made a movie called The Machine Girl. In 2009, The Hajirai Machine Girl. This movie, RoboGeisha, was 2009. 2010, Mutant Girl Squad.
It's a bit like he's got a fetish, isn't
Yep, and then 2012, Dead Sushi. I know the estimated budget. I could find nothing on how much it made, which I assume it did get cinema release. From what I read, it did kind of like the weird festival circuit, film festival circuit, where it's shown in a lot of places. I don't know if those things make money. How much do you think it costs to make the movie?
I'm going to say there was 10 million behind it.
My God. According to IMDb, this movie cost only 250 grand.
Yeah, that's what I read
And
on Wikipedia.
I read that and I was like, they've made that money go a long way.
I think they did. I think they
really
did
have.
a really good job of actually making a very entertaining film out of not a great deal of money. I've got a funny feeling that's about the same amount of money that Western World costs to make.
It's amazing what you can do with a bit of imagination and ingenuity, isn't it?
5. I have to. I really enjoyed watching this film. I remember loving it when we first watched it because it was just so mental. When we watched this, the three of us watched this together, I enjoyed watching it. And then when I watched it last night, I still enjoyed watching it. Sincerely, if you watch nothing else of what we've recommended, at least watch this, please. 5.
I really like it. It's very funny. It hasn't got that awkward so bad it's good that I love.
I don't think it's so bad it's good. I think it's intentionally.
I agree.
It knows what it is.
Yeah, I'd much rather watch The Room again than watch this again, even though this is just ridiculous. But for me, I love the awkwardness of how bad some of that, because they're trying so hard. So I think I'm going with a 3.5. But I'd still highly recommend it because it is a very, very good, very funny film.
Echoing all of the reasons you've just given, this is a 4 out of 5 for me. It is such an enjoyable watch that I could never give it less than that. But it is too self-aware to be a 5 out of 5. So bad it's good. If we were just reviewing like batshit movies, should you watch it? Should you not watch it? This is a 10 out of 10, definitely. You must sit down and put yourselves through this, because from start to finish, it is an absolute riot.
So, RoboGeisha gets a very good 12.5 out of 15. Well done, RoboGeisha.
You can rent this on Amazon Prime.
Can you actually?
Yeah. For how much?
I think it was £3 something.
That is the best £3 you'll ever see. You will spend £3 on a burger from McDonald's that you will eat and will be gone in minutes and will not enrich your life in the same way as this will.
Christopher, what should they do if they enjoyed this and made it this far?
It's been raining a lot.
Right.
So there's a lot of snails around. Get 3 of them.
What?
And then try and like maybe research it a little bit so you're not harming the little snails.
Oh, wow.
But
So
maybe
you
like a little
haven't-
bit Tipex or, some kind of paint or something. Just write BTB on it And then hopefully they've kept in their lanes and not done anything silly. I mean, maybe have a word first. And maybe by the time your neighbours come out, they'll see it and they'll be so amazed that these snails have delivered a message that you then seek it out.
Okay, so I don't like to poke holes in your stories, but if that did happen, right, and they didn't move, and in the morning they open the door and they see BTB, how is that going to help them find us?
Because you're automatically going to put that into Google and we will just be the first thing that appear.
And that's where this falls apart. We very much won't be the first thing.
Oh, so that's the problem with
this. Or the first,
That's the
that
problem.
is
Not the fact that snails...
flaw.
The problem with our plan is our fucking SEO.
I think that could work.
Like this video, subscribe to the channel, ding the bell so you get your notifications, and then... along a similar theme to Chris, because it's been raining so much, maybe have it printed on an umbrella.
Oh, yeah.
See? You know how we have like mugs for merchandise, or we did have.
Oh, God, he's so bitter.
I'm not bitter.
His one got printed wrong. I'd totally forgotten about that. I thought we smashed it.
It was about 7 years ago, everyone.
It got printed wrong, which would have been fine, but they promised me a new mug and then never came through on that promise.
I know. Well, sometimes the people you work with don't pull through.
That's what upset me. It's not the misprinted mug, best guess, 2000 something.
This man has children and he's still harping on about this.
Why would the children make me any
say,
less bitter about it?
There's more important things in your life than
Dave's
misprinted
a very
mugs.
bitter man.
Yeah.
Like he likes to hold
Don't
on to
underestimate.
that.
Get it printed on an umbrella. Go out walking in the rain, people will see. And go, oh, bad time babble. I'll give that a go.
And they'll turn to go to their computer and go crunch and go, oh my God.
I stepped on a snail.
What was on their back?
Yeah, BT and no other snail.
Because there's only two, because one must have wandered off.
Well, I mean, that could drive them on even further. They're going to be searching for BT, and it's going to take them a long time to figure out what the last one was.
Why wouldn't they think it was just British Telecom?
Because why would British Telecom leave two painted snails?
Of course.
Why would they do that?
It's ridiculous, Tom. It's a ridiculous idea to think.
Sometimes I just wonder if you're taking this seriously or not.
Also, check us out on our social media. We've got a Twitter, we've got an Instagram. Sometimes I put things up.